So today is the 13th and I'm fixing to make our dinner for tonight, although you'll be seeing this on the 14th. Yeah, vlog time continuum stuff. Anyway, what we're going to do is make gumbo. Now, how can you make gumbo without a roux? Well, not everybody can have dairy and not everybody can have wheat flour. So what we're going to do is we're going to stir some arrowroot flour. That's a nice thickener, and we're going to stir that in with the gravy, and that should help thicken things up. I know it won't be a proper gumbo because I know that gumbo is made like the darker the roux gets, that really brings out the flavor of the gumbo. But when you have dietary restrictions, whether it be Whole30 or whether you have to be gluten-free or you can't have any dairy, I mean, people have to make do with what they can. So we're going to be making a Whole30, gluten-free, lactose intolerant friendly, could this be paleo as well? Yeah, paleo gumbo. So let's get cooking. So the first thing I'm actually going to try to do is make this roux with the roux with the arrowroot flour. So this is going to take 5 cups of chicken stock. Since there's 4 cups in these, I'm just going to go ahead and dump a whole carton in and then measure out the other one. I try to use low sodium if I can, or unsalted, because there's enough salt in other stuff. So we're just going to pop this open. Now, if you had homemade stock or you know how to make bone broth, that would be preferable because of all the collagen in it, but this will do. Like, I already had this in my cabinet, and this is actually broth, but it works. So I'm just going to add this extra cup here. Oh, God, the color difference is amazing from the broth and the stock. And this will go in the fridge. What we're going to do is add a 1/4 cup, I don't know, this stuff better be really good thickener because we're supposed to add a 1/4 cup of arrowroot flour. Oh, it looks like powdered sugar, guys. Seriously. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of arrowroot flour and stir it until it's dissolved. I hope that dissolves in liquid better than flour does, because flour does not like dissolving in liquid. And it doesn't say have it hot or anything, so look at this. I'm having a hard time like moving around the camera because I have it plugged up so it won't die. Ooh, that made like a very hard lump on the bottom. Holy cow. That like turned into cement on the bottom. Wow. Wow. I wish you could see this. I really do. Let's see. It's like stuck to the, wow. It's like stuck to the bottom, but it actually is, there's no lumps. That's weird. It's like, this is my first time working with arrowroot flour, if you can tell. So it's like when I poured it in, it looked like it was going to be lumpy and hard to work out, like wheat flour. And it does kind of stay on the bottom, like it feels a little cementy, like it was hard to scrape off. But there's no lumps, guys. Okay, I am too easily amazed by this. This is pretty freaking cool. So I'm just going to set that aside. I wonder if it'll settle and turn back into cement, or if it'll stay good like that. Forgive the shading and the bad light, but I've gone ahead and layered my boneless, skinless chicken thighs in the bottom of the crock pot. A little of my favorite Creole seasoning on there, and I turn it on high, and I'm going to go ahead and get this starting to heat up while I work on the other stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to chop ourselves up an onion. I've already taken the outer layers of the onion off. Let's not mock my chopping skills. I'll be back. Now we have our onion chopped up, and I put it in this bowl to set aside. Luckily, I didn't cry. Luckily, I didn't hurt anything. So, let me tell you a little story. Okay, so to be honest, that was the first time I have chopped an onion in years. Like, I haven't chopped a single onion since we've lived in this house. When Matt first gave me these knives for Christmas, I had an onion out and I was chopping it, and I said, now I need to work on my knife. And before I could get the word skills out, I sliced into my finger something big. And it absolutely freaked me out. And for a couple of years, I couldn't even pick up my knife because it would just give me such bad chills. So I bought everything chopped. And I've gotten back to where, as you see, I've gotten back to where I like chop vegetables and stuff, but I have never chopped onion until today. So today is the first time I've chopped an onion in, oh God, when was that? We moved in here and so I haven't chopped an onion since early 2013. That's a long time, guys. So there's the little story on that. Laura doesn't do knives very well. So you know what? I went ahead and bought the celery sticks because I'm lazy. So part of the work is done for me. And I don't have to throw that much away. So I'm just going to chop these up. I should have made something clear. What I'm actually making is called the Holy Trinity. Now in cooking, if you're not familiar, there is something called a mirepoix. Now a mirepoix is usually 2 parts onion to 1 part celery, 1 part carrot. But the Holy Trinity is basically the mirepoix of Cajun cooking. And it's 2 parts onion to 1 part celery and 1 part bell pepper. The reason why it's usually 2 parts onion is because obviously onions are so much water they just cook down anyway. But that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm doing. And actually I spent some time in my youth living in Louisiana, so I've actually lived in Cajun country. So this is not unfamiliar to me at all. I'm very familiar with Cajun food and Cajun flavors, so that's why I'm really excited about doing this. Let's get to work on these gorgeous guys. Look at these. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Sometimes I don't want to cut them up because they're so pretty. Aren't bell peppers just like ornamental? But I digress. Let's chop. So I'm just going to cut down the sides here. And then that is no muss, no fuss. Bell pepper seeds are basically like glitter. You can't freaking get rid of it. So we know how bad my knife skills are, so I'm just going to chop this up without humiliating myself in front of everybody, and we'll be back. Look at those gorgeous vegetables, and they smell so good. Now I know I said that basically it should be 2 parts onion to 1 part bell pepper and 1 part celery, but I couldn't help but using 3 whole bell peppers just because they're gorgeous. And this meal needs to last us for a few nights, so the more vegetables the merrier. So I'm just going to take the lid off, pour these gorgeous vegetables over. Guys, oh my gosh, that smells amazing. I'm going to pour in 1 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes. No, I did not get organic because money. I'm going to sprinkle some more seasoning over this. Oh, y'all, I love the seasoning and I love spice. Ooh, this arrowroot seems to have settled, which is what I wondered if it would do, so I'm going to give it another stir real quick. And I'm just going to pour the stock over the veggies of the chicken. Good stuff. Good stuff right there, guys. And I know that I'm doing gumbo with chicken, and I'm not going to be adding sausage. We will be adding shrimp towards the end of this. So I'm actually going to cook this on high for about 4 hours tonight until the chicken is shreddable, because I have to actually take some to work tonight. Matt has to be there late tonight, so I'm going to take him dinner. So the quicker I can get this done, the better. It's already like 2:15 in the afternoon, so I have to get this done. So it's on high, and so we'll come back in 4 hours and see how it's doing. It's about 5 hours later, and the gumbo is done. About half an hour ago, I put my shrimp in. It doesn't look anything like gumbo. It's very watery. It doesn't look anything like gumbo to me, because I really like gumbo to be kind of thicker. But it looks more like a veggie soup with some chicken and shrimp in it. Maybe it would have a little more Cajun flavor if I could have used my favorite sausage, but my favorite sausage is Cajun sausage, but it's not Whole30, so I just wanted to skip the sausage this time. So this might just taste like vegetable soup with chicken and shrimp, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, we're going to taste it as soon as Matt gets home. Okay, so here's the final verdict on the gumbo. I can't even, in good conscience, use the term gumbo even for the title for this, because yes, I do believe that people that can't have gluten and that can't have dairy should be able to have a really good gumbo. That was not gumbo. And plus, I noticed one omitted sin. There was no okra in the recipe. What it was is a good soup. It had a lot of good flavor. The chicken was fantastic. I had eaten a piece of shrimp before Matt got home just to make sure that the shrimp was done and cooked all the way through. And then all of a sudden my entire mouth started itching. It itched in my ears all the way down my throat. It was horrible. And I'm not a fan of shrimp, but I've never had a reaction to shrimp before. And so I started looking at it, and they said that yes, you can just suddenly develop an intolerance or an allergy to something that you haven't had an allergy or intolerance to. So yeah, so and then I was like, okay, I'm scared to have any of the shrimp. So I tested a thing, like a spoonful of broth, and then just waited for a few minutes, because it only took like 2 minutes for the itchiness to hit my mouth after I ate the shrimp. So I waited a little bit, and I didn't have anything just for the broth, so it wasn't, whatever is about the shrimp is not enough to where it taints everything and I can't have any of it. So Matt got the shrimp in his bowl, and I just scooped mine and made sure I didn't have any shrimp, and I gave myself chicken. The chicken was very tender, had a lot of flavor. The bell peppers and the onions, it was a really nice tasting soup. And I think it's a good base for a recipe. I would make it again, but I would double up on the chicken. I don't think adding sausage would have helped it at all. I really don't. I know the kind of gumbo that I make in my head, and it wasn't gumbo. But, so I can't in good conscience call it gumbo. I just can't. But it was a good Cajun flavored, Cajun inspired soup. And it was a very, very good base for other things. And it would be good with like double chicken and some zucchini in there. It would be really, maybe some new potatoes thrown in. It would be really good. But okay, so I decided, I ate my bowl and I was fine, but then I decided that I liked it, but I didn't like it enough to want to eat it all week. So Matt is taking the whole thing to work, and he is going to eat on that, and he'll probably share some with his brother, but he's going to eat some on that this week. I ran to the store and got some tuna, which is one of my favorite go-tos. And so I'm going to end up having tuna for lunch, and then I'm going to eat my Cuban bowl for dinner instead. So, I mean, that's what happens when you try out recipes. Sometimes it turns out to be something fantastic, and sometimes you're like, I can take it or leave it. And I mean, like I said, it was good. It was tasty, and it had a good flavor from the bell peppers and the onion and everything. But it just, in my mind, I was thinking I wanted gumbo, and that was not it. So there you have it. I just wanted to be honest with y'all. So if you want to make it, I'll give you the recipe, but I would strongly suggest to start adding things, adding more vegetables. I mean, even some big, nice stewed tomatoes would have been really good in there. And maybe some tomato paste would have been good to kind of help thicken it up and just help those bell pepper flavors develop even more and just become so rich. But anyway, that's where it is, and I just want to be honest with you about how it was, and I will talk to you soon. I don't have anything new that I'm cooking because we're going to be eating leftovers all week. Right now I'm browning the 365 compliant Italian sausage. I'm cooking that tonight, so in the morning all I got to do is heat it up with the egg scramble with the mushrooms and spinach, and we're having leftovers all week. So I'll come back sometime when I think of something. Alright, take care of each other, take care of yourself. Go out there and unlock some adventure, unlock good health. And I'll see you later. Goodbye.